This is probably going to be the second video in a 4-part series for Sheldon's laptop. I have Sheldon's laptop over here. 2 days ago I did a live stream with it because he brought it in to me one day saying it wouldn't turn on at all. And during the live stream we concluded that the charging port was defective. We actually ordered a new charging port through eBay that'll be here in probably less than a week from now. And I called him yesterday to report the status. Now, between the time of the live stream and when I called him, I had futzed around with it a little bit more and got it to a point to where it would take a charge. So I charged it up and then discharged it and charged it up and discharged it a couple times to get a good clear picture of how much battery use he was going to be able to get out of it. At that point in time, the state was that if the AC adapter where it plugs into the computer got jostled or bumped at all, it would very easily drop the charging connection. So my theory was I was going to tell him to connect a charger, watch the light on the front of the computer. When it's charging, it has a solid white light. And then when it's fully charged, the light goes out. Unplug it and then use it for a couple of hours. And then plug it in again, let it get stable to where you can take hands off. Since then, I've found that actually you can use it with the charger still connected as long as you're really paying attention. So my theory was we'd adjust the power settings a little bit and just have them very aware of how to deal with this until the new part came in. Now, the other piece of this situation is he had already ordered a new laptop, but it was still a couple weeks away. So by virtue of this fussing around to get it to a point where he could charge it up and then use it for a while, that was going to be an opportunity to get the computer back to him yesterday so that he could use it. I called him yesterday and discussed this with him, and he was on board with the plan. He thought he could do that fine, so we were planning for him to come over and pick up the laptop. About an hour or so after we had that phone conversation, he called me back and say, "Well, Doug, there's been another change of the delivery for my new laptop." I've had experiences recently with deliveries that the announced date of delivery has not always held together very well. Usually get delayed. So we were still expecting the delivery in a couple weeks of his new laptop. He called yesterday and said, well, it showed up today. It showed up on his front porch yesterday. While they were away from the house, it was supposed to have required a signature, but they left it on the front porch with no signature, a new laptop. So that's great. So he brought the new laptop over. In a little over an hour from now, I'm going to start a live stream unboxing that new laptop, and we'll do the setup during the live stream. But this is the old computer, so I need to use Fabs Autobackup to copy his data files off to an external media so that we can transfer that to the new computer. I'm not going to do that part during the live stream. Well, I could do the transfer into the new computer, but I'm going to go ahead and do the export here. I already have my computer number 2 connected to his laptop. So again, here's the laptop. I have a M.2 drive in an enclosure here, one of those silver stone enclosures that Kerry Holzman promoted a while back. I think I have probably a Samsung M.2 NVMe in there, which is a little bit overkill because the speed of that drive isn't going to get utilized through a USB port. Especially, I think this is a USB 2.0. I have my computer number 2 already connected. So there you see a similar image to what you just saw from my camera number 2. And I have Fabs Auto Backup already open. So I'm going to go straight into starting the backup. I'm using Fabs Auto Backup 7 Pro, which is a paid edition of Fabs Auto Backup. There's some differences. The one difference that I'm pretty sure is that you can do multiple user profiles at the same time. With the Pro version, with the free version, you can only do one profile at a time. Well, for most personal users, that would be fine. I'll click on Backup Data. This is the name of his profile. So if you go into C Drive Users folder and then look at the folders that are there, there's only one user profile there called Sheldon, which is his name's Sheldon. Then backup location. I don't want to back up to the C drive. I'm going to back up to this drive that I've connected to the USB port, and I have a couple folders there, one Macrium backups and one Fabs backup. And by the way, this drive, on the first partition of this drive, I did a Windows 11 installation media, and it only took 32 gigabytes. It made a 32 gigabyte partition. The rest of the drive was unused. This morning I set that up as a M drive. I'm going to click on the Fabs Backup folder. So that's the location. Then I'm going to change the name here. I'll put Sheldon and then backslash. After that, it will show the date and the computer name. However, that makes a really long path because Fabs Auto Backups stores the files in this path in their native form. So all the folder levels and file names, and with long file names, many folders deep, sometimes it becomes difficult to manipulate that afterwards or use that afterwards. So I'm going to shorten that. I'm just going to call it Sheldon. How about even Sheldon old computer? So Sheldon old laptop. Out here to the right, you see backslash profile name. So it's automatically going to add backslash profile name, which would be Sheldon. I'll put a check mark here to say I want it to use the subfolder. So this is going to be a subfolder inside of Fabs Backups. Click Next. I'll use all the default check marks here. The only items that are not checkmarked by default are items that are not found on this computer. I'm not going to go through and describe those at this point. I've done that on other videos, and I'm trying to make this video a little bit shorter and just show this process. Then when I click the next key, it went to this public data. I could actually click through these tabs instead of using the next key, the next button down in the bottom right corner. Again, I'm going to accept all the check marks for the public data. This is another piece. I'm not sure about the free version if it does the public data or not. You know what? I'm actually not sure whether it just does a user profile. It might not do the public data. Or maybe you have to do it in a separate session. It seems to me there was something along those lines. I could exclude some folders if I want to. And actually, I do want to exclude a folder. So I'm going to put this check mark, and I'm going to expand the C drive section because this computer has a folder called SW Setup, and inside there is these two folders for DougBetts Tools and Handy Backup. We don't need his profile to have those folders. So I'm just going to put those check marks on there to exclude those. Oh, I'm sorry, that's extra files. No, I don't want those as extra folders. Oh, that's right. Okay, those are automatically excluded. Yeah, I'd have to select this and tell it that I want those. Otherwise, it's just going to do the public profile and the user's profile. Click Next, and then Optional Items. This is where you can exclude some files. I don't need to go exclude those because they're not included in the first place. Click Next. I like to use VSS. It's slower, but files in use can be copied. I don't have any other files in use on that computer as far as I know. It's possible that some software running in the background might have files in use. I don't think so. I haven't experimented with that. I like to keep the folder dates, the original dates that are on the folders, because I find those useful sometimes. Do nothing when finished and ask me what to do if a file already exists. The files aren't going to already exist on that media, so that question is kind of irrelevant. I could select one of these other answers. Now, I have seen some occasions where when you create certain files or folders, sometimes they automatically create temporary files related to them, and that's where this can happen. So let's go ahead and select overwrite them. That way, if a secondary file has been created on the storage media just by virtue of copying one file to there, when it tries to copy the other file over, that's going to overwrite it. No, I changed my mind. Yeah, I don't think this through very often. It's pretty much been irrelevant. Oh, skip them. That's even better. We'll go that way. Now you can put this check mark to show the total size before the copy operation begins. If you do that, when you click launch, you're going to have to wait for that because you have to click to get the backup actually to start running. In this case, I'd rather just let it start running. I'm going to pause the recording of the video, and it should be done before the live stream that is scheduled at 1 hour and 2 minutes from now. Click launch. Now the fourth, I said probably 4 videos related to this computer. Well, there's the one that I did 2 days ago, the live stream where it came in and it would not turn on. That would be the first. This would be the second video, copying out the user profile. The live stream that's going to start about an hour from now would be the third video dealing with his new laptop. Then the fourth one would be when that part comes in for the charging port. I'll disassemble the computer, which involves taking the back off, removing the monitor, and then removing the charge port and installing the new charge port, which is kind of almost call it a circuit board. It's not just the port. So that would be the fourth one. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording here. Then I'm intending to come back when this finishes so I can show you how long it took. I'm going to jump in here while this is running so that you can see the way this screen looks. On the main body of this screen, I can circle my mouse around this area. You're seeing the actual content that's being copied. Then down here we can see remaining size, the copied size, and the total size to be copied. So it's 123 gigabytes. And here's the amount that's already copied, and then the amount remaining is 120 gigabytes at this point. So you can get an idea of how it's progressing and check on it once in a while. Going back to pause. This is finished now. It shows here, let's see, we got remaining size. Oh, no, it's not finished. Remaining size 114, failed size 0. It looks like it's stuck. I briefly looked at the screen. It looked like it was stopped. I thought it was done. No, okay, there it goes on. It can do that. It can get stuck at points and just let it keep going. So I'm going to go on pause again. Okay, that Fabs auto backup has finished. It shows 11:24:56 is when it finished, so I'll call that 11:25. And it started at 9:58, is that right? Wow, that took a long time. 9:58, so 10 a.m. to 11:24, hour and a half to finish that backup. So then the next phase of that will be to restore that to Sheldon's new computer. I'll exit that and we're done there. So I'm going to slip that piece into the other video and hit the record button to stop. That's it for this video. I hope this has been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.